After 3 heartwarming texts, a CEO discovers incredible love from a single dad's triplets. Jake sat in his sleek glass office, drowning in spreadsheets and conference calls. The world outside, the vibrant suburban community he once cherished, had faded from his view. Only the glaring light of his computer screen accompanied him in his solitude. He remembered the warmth of summers spent playing with neighbors, sharing barbecues and laughter. That life felt like a distant echo. Then a sudden ping broke the suffocating silence. 3 texts flashed across his phone, lighting up the darkness that had enveloped him for far too long. The messages painted a vivid picture of a single father, Mark, courageously raising triplets on his own after a painful divorce. The children, though smiling in pictures, were struggling with the weight of their father's burdens. "They miss you at the school, Jake," read one message. "Mark's working 2 jobs to keep things afloat. He needs a helping hand." Each word hit Jake like a tidal wave, pushing him to the brink of something he thought he'd buried deep beneath years of corporate ambition. With a pounding heart, Jake decided he would offer mentorship to the triplets. He recalled a time when life felt more like a community and less like a competition. The little faces of the triplets began to fill his mind. He envisioned them running around in their yard, laughter ringing through the air. Moments later, he found himself at Mark's small, cozy home. The chaotic energy of 3 children, each vibrant and full of life, ushered him back into a world he had long abandoned. "Mr. Jake!" they shouted in unison, and their joy swept through him like a warm breeze. Mark stood there, a bit worn, but with a twinkle of gratitude in his eyes. As they connected over board games and pizza, Jake felt pieces of his heart click back into place. It was beautiful and daunting all at once. The connection sparked something unimaginable. He was not just guiding the kids, but rediscovering the values of friendship and community. For the first time in years, he laughed, truly laughed. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. But the path forward wasn't smooth. The whispers behind their backs grew louder. Jake felt the judgment, a stark contrast to the warmth he sought to cultivate. Had he become the embodiment of the corporate world he fought against? He wanted to share their story to inspire others, a PR campaign that might help Mark and the kids. Yet as he penned his thoughts, a feverish anxiety clawed at him. Had he crossed an ethical line? Was he exploiting their lives for his gain? The connection deepened, pushing both men to confront the world's perception of family and success. As they navigated this complicated journey, Jake realized he was faced not just with the challenge of supporting Mark and his triplet children, but also redefining who he was in a community he had almost forgotten. With urgent questions stirring in his heart, he wondered, could he truly embrace this path without losing himself? Would he choose love and authenticity over societal expectations? The balancing act had just begun, and Mother Nature, standing in the schoolyard, cast a long shadow over them. Life was about to test their resilience in unimaginable ways. Jake found himself staring out at the horizon, the evening sun casting a golden hue over the neighborhood. Just a week had passed since that whirlwind of laughter and connection at Mark's home, yet it felt like a lifetime. In the moments of joy spent with the triplets, he had rediscovered the taste of happiness he'd lost in the relentless grind of his career. But now, reality was weighing heavily again. His phone buzzed, a harsh reminder of the world outside this newfound joy. It was a message from his assistant, filled with deadlines, meetings, and relentless corporate demands. It sent a jolt through him, pulling him away from the warmth of his memories with the kids. But as he read, his heart remained tethered to those 3 lively souls who had woven themselves into his life so unexpectedly. That Saturday, he had agreed to take them on an outing. The plan was simple, just a trip to the local park, but Jake was brimming with excitement. The sight of the triplets' faces lit up as they climbed into his car made his spirits soar. Their laughter echoed, filling the space with an electric energy. "Are we going to the playground, Mr. Jake?" Little Ava, the youngest, chirped from the back seat, her bright eyes shining with anticipation. At the park, the air was filled with the sounds of children playing and families enjoying the summer sun. Jake set up their picnic blanket beneath the shade of a sprawling oak tree. He tossed a few sandwiches together while the triplets chased each other, their laughter ringing like music. For the first time in a long while, he felt at peace. He was not just a CEO anymore, but a mentor, a friend, a figure who could make a difference in their lives. As the picnic unfolded, he noticed Mark sitting quietly a little distance away, his gaze fixed on his children. The lines of fatigue etched on his face were still there, but today there was a flicker of relief. "Thanks for doing this," Mark called out, the sincerity of his voice cutting through the background noise. "I worry about them. Sometimes it feels like I can't give them what they need." Jake's heart ached at the vulnerability in Mark's eyes. "You're doing an amazing job," he replied, "not just as a statement, but as a lifeline. They need you more than anything else." But beneath those heartfelt expressions, uncertainty brewed within Jake. He wanted to embrace this connection with the triplets and Mark, yet a part of him feared how others perceived him. The whispers of judgment he'd felt at the office nagged at him. Was he making a mistake? As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Jake turned to the triplets, who were engrossed in a game of tag. "What's next on the agenda, you three?" he prompted, hoping to steer the conversation back to joy. "Can we have ice cream?" Lucas shouted, his face scrunched in delight. "Of course, whatever you want," Jake exclaimed, excitement bubbling within him. As they raced towards the ice cream truck, Jake exchanged a glance with Mark. A mixture of gratitude and hesitation passed between them. This journey was uncharted, and the road ahead seemed fraught with uncertainties. "Are you ready for what's to come?" Mark asked, his voice a soft whisper carried away by the wind. Jake looked after the triplets, their laughter ringing out like pure joy. "I don't know," he admitted, a knot forming in his stomach. "But I think I'm willing to find out." Just then, the sound of a distant siren pierced through the air, a reminder that chaos lives just outside the boundary of this small slice of bliss. What lay ahead loomed like a storm cloud, and Jake could feel it creeping closer. Would their newfound connection withstand the challenges to come, or would the weight of the outside world pull them apart? The question hung in the air, thick with tension and unspoken fears. Jake stood at the edge of the playground, watching the triplets leap and bound with uncontainable joy. The sound of their laughter washed over him like a warm wave, momentarily quieting the fears gnawing at his insides. Yet, the siren's wail lingered in his ears, a haunting reminder that life wasn't just a canvas of carefree days. Just as he took a deep breath, savoring the moment, Ava came running toward him, her cheeks flushed and hair bouncing with each step. "Mr. Jake, watch me," she squealed, launching herself off a low swing, soaring through the air for just a heartbeat before landing safely on her feet. "Wow, you're a superstar!" Jake clapped, a genuine smile spreading across his face. An idea sparked in his mind. He wanted to be that steady presence in their lives, the one who cheered them on. In that moment, he made a silent promise to do everything he could to be there for them. But as Ava dashed off again, he felt a tug of anxiety. He couldn't shake the feeling that it would all come crashing down. The looming deadlines and expectations at work felt heavier than before, each one pulling him closer to a life he didn't want to live anymore. Who would understand his connection with Mark and the kids? What would they think? Caught in this internal struggle, he was pulled back to reality when Lucas came bounding back, a melting ice cream cone in hand. "Mr. Jake, you want a bite?" The boy had ice cream smeared across his nose, his eyes wide with delight. "Of course, I can't say no to that," Jake laughed, taking a careful lick, the sweetness tingling on his tongue. Mark approached then, grateful but slightly awkward. "You're really good with them. They adore you." Jake shrugged, a bit bashful but proud nonetheless. "They're easy to love." As he conversed with Mark, he noticed the faint lines of stress still etched on his face. The father was trying to be strong, yet Jake could see the cracks beneath the surface. "Do they ever ask about their mom?" Jake ventured, sensing the weight of the topic hanging between them. Mark's expression shifted, sadness dimming his features. "A little. Mostly I just try to keep things light. I don't want them to worry, you know." Jake took a moment to absorb those words. The difficulty Mark faced felt familiar. It mirrored his own struggles. Wanting to shield the triplets from pain struck a chord deep within him. "You're doing what you can," Jake reassured him. "They need you more than anything else." Silence enveloped them, filled only with the joyful chaos of children playing nearby. It was comforting, but there was an unspoken tension in the air, potent with possibility. Mark met Jake's gaze, eyes searching. "Thank you for being here, really. It means a lot to me." Jake felt warmth spread in his chest at the sincerity in Mark's voice. It was more than just a simple thank you. It was a recognition of the bond forming between them. But just when he thought they were gaining ground, his phone buzzed again. He glanced at the screen and felt a tightening in his stomach. Another dire message from work. In that moment, everything hit him hard. The choices ahead, the dual lives he was trying to navigate. As he stood there staring at the screen, he was struck by a decision. He could either dive back into the corporate chaos or embrace this vibrant, chaotic joy offered through Mark and the kids. "Jake, you okay?" Mark's voice pulled him back. With a deep breath, he pocketed his phone and met Mark's steady gaze. "I think I need to be here. I want to see this through." Just then, a loud crash echoed from the playground. A child had fallen, and suddenly all eyes turned toward the commotion. Panic rippled through the crowd, emotions amplified in an instant. Jake's heart raced. Where was the line between safety and chaos? As he rushed toward the scene, he wondered, was he equipped for the shattering storms on the horizon? Could he hold his ground when the winds began to howl? The moment felt pivotal, and as he looked back at the triplets, laughter now mixed with cries of confusion, one question loomed larger than the rest. Would he step up to protect this newfound family, no matter the costs of the outside world? Jake sprinted toward the playground, his heart pounding in rhythm with the frantic cries of concern. As he neared the group of onlookers, he could make out a young girl sitting on the ground, tears streaming down her face. Just beyond her, Ava and Lucas stood frozen, eyes wide with fear. "Let me through," Jake called, his voice cutting through the chaos. He squeezed past startled parents and knelt beside the girl, whose knee was scraped and bleeding. "Hey there," he said softly, trying to steady his own racing heartbeat. "What's your name?" "Lily," she sniffed, attempting to wipe away her tears with a trembling hand. "Lily, you're going to be okay," he reassured her, flashing the most comforting smile he could muster. "Can you show me where it hurts?" She pointed at her knee, and Jake gently examined the scrape. "Looks like you took a tumble, huh? Just a little boo-boo. I'll help you get cleaned up." Out of the corner of his eye, he caught a glimpse of Mark pushing through the throng. Their eyes locked for a brief moment, and Jake felt as if a silent understanding passed between them. Mark was worried about his kids, and now Jake was stepping into the protective role. "I can help," Ava exclaimed, breaking from Lucas's side. Her eagerness was infectious, and Jake could already see a spark of bravery igniting within her. "Absolutely, Ava. How about you go find a wet paper towel or a cloth from the first aid kit over there?" He gestured to the small wooden shed nearby, while keeping his focus on Lily. Ava nodded enthusiastically and took off, her determination igniting a small fire of hope in Jake's chest. He turned back to Lily, whose tears had begun to subside thanks to his gentle demeanor. "You're so brave, you know that? You just need a little help, and then you can get back in the mix with your friends." Lily nodded, her trembling gradually fading as Ava returned with a damp cloth. "Here, I got it," Ava declared proudly, handing it over like a trophy. "Great job," Jake praised as he gently cleaned the wound. The soft murmurs of the crowd began to fade, replaced by the sounds of laughter and play returning to the scene. He glanced back at Mark, who had approached to check on the situation. The worry etched on his face began to ease as he watched Jake care for Lily. "Thank you, Jake," Mark murmured, his voice low but filled with gratitude. "Just doing what I can," Jake replied, his heart swelling with a warmth he hadn't expected. As he finished bandaging Lily's knee, she looked up at him, her big blue eyes shining. "You're like a superhero," Jake chuckled, brushing off the compliment. "I'm just a guy who likes to help." When Lily stood to join her friends, Jake felt a rush of relief. Everything around him, the parents, the kids, the laughter, felt like a blanket of warmth wrapping around him. But that comfort was suddenly shattered when Lucas dashed over, his face flushed with excitement. "Mr. Jake, we've got a surprise for you." Before Jake could question what it was, Ava reappeared holding something behind her back, a secret yet to be revealed. The way they looked at each other, their beaming smiles and sparkling eyes, made his stomach flutter with anxious anticipation. "What is it?" he asked, his heart racing. He could see the bond between them growing stronger, feel the connection threading between their lives. Ava stepped forward, revealing a colorful drawing. "It's a picture of you, and all of us." Jake looked down, amazed. The fiercely drawn stick figures resembled him, and the triplets surrounded by a rainbow of crayons. His breath caught in his throat. The childlike honesty and love radiated from the page, and at that moment, he felt part of something profoundly beautiful. "Wow, this is beautiful," he exclaimed. "You all did such a fantastic job." "We made it together," Lucas chimed in, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Jake clutched the drawing tightly. It represented more than just a picture. It was a promise, a signal of the bond they were forming. Yet, a shadow crossed his mind, an echo of that gnawing anxiety. The impending deadlines, the expectations, the choices. Could he really integrate into this world, this family? The question loomed large as he smiled at the triplets, a mix of joy and uncertainty swirling within him. Was he ready to embrace this chaotic joy, whatever it might bring? Just then, Mark stepped closer. "You know, if you're ever interested in getting together outside of this, I'd love to..." Jake's heart skipped a beat. As certainty and confusion danced in his chest, he pondered Mark's words. What lay ahead felt uncertain, but he felt a compelling pull toward this potential. And as laughter echoed around them, Jake realized one thing. Stepping forward wouldn't be just about keeping the triplets safe. It could also lead him to something entirely new with Mark. Could he take that leap? As the laughter of the children settled into a comfortable background hum, Jake's mind raced. Mark's invitation hung in the air, its weight both exhilarating and daunting. He glanced at the triplets, their eyes sparkling with the innocence and joy of childhood, and he felt an unexpected rush of affection. It was a feeling he hadn't anticipated, one that wrapped around his heart like a warm embrace. "Do you want to come over for dinner?" Mark offered, his voice tentative yet hopeful. "I know the kids would love to have you join us." Dinner. The simple word sent a ripple of uncertainty through Jake. He could almost taste the delicious chaos that would ensue with 3 energetic kids. But the thought of being with Mark, sharing laughter and stories, tugged at something deep within him. "Sure, I'd love that," Jake replied, surprising himself with how genuine his smile felt. Mark's expression brightened, a spark igniting in his eyes that made Jake's heart flutter. He looked down at the drawing still clutched in his hand, feeling the weight of the little creator's hopes. They were inviting him in, not just to play, but to be part of their lives, a life punctuated by joy, responsibility, and the kind of messy love that families shared. "Okay, great," Mark said, clapping his hands together. "How about tomorrow at 6? "Sounds perfect," Jake nodded, feeling a swell of anticipation. His mind raced with the possibilities of what the evening would entail. Ava, overhearing, jumped in. "We're having spaghetti. It's my favorite, with lots and lots of sauce." Her excitement was infectious, and Jake couldn't help but grin. "We'll make a ton of it just for you," Lucas chirped, bouncing on his toes as if ready to burst with enthusiasm. "Just don't forget the dessert," Lily piped up, a smile brightening her face. "We can have brownies." Jake chuckled, feeling like he was stepping into a whirlwind of family traditions and flavors. Brownies sound amazing. As the children began to chatter among themselves, making plans and sharing ideas for their dinner feast, Mark stepped a little closer to Jake, the surrounding laughter slowly fading into a comforting silence. "I'm really glad you said yes," he confessed softly. "Me too," Jake replied, his voice barely above a whisper. There was something about the way Mark looked at him, this combination of warmth and vulnerability that sent flutters through Jake's stomach. He was stepping into uncharted territory, and the thrill of it was intoxicating. But as the delighted yells and squeals of the triplets played out around them, Jake couldn't shake the creeping doubt that seeped back in. What if he wasn't enough? What if Mark and the kids deserved someone better? The spiral of uncertainty tugged at his mind, pulling him back in even as he fought to remain hopeful. Suddenly, Ava tugged at his sleeve, snapping him back to the present. "Mr. Jake, can you come watch us on the monkey bars? You have to see how high I can climb." "Okay, show me what you've got," he laughed, shifting his focus away from the doubts. As he stood watching Ava and the other kids soar through the air, a feeling of purpose started to blanket him. The sounds of laughter and joy filled his heart, squeezing out the apprehensions. Maybe this could work. In that moment, as Jake cheered on Ava's attempts, he realized that the leap he was considering might not just be about him. It could also be about them, Mark, the kids, this strange but wonderful family that seemed to be forming around him. Just then, Lucas called out, "Mr. Jake, are you going to be our new dad?" The question landed like a heavy stone, settling deep within Jake's chest. Laughter from a nearby parent stopped, and the playground suddenly felt eerily quiet as all the kids turned to look at him expectantly. Would he fit into that title? Could he even envision such a role for himself? Jake's heart raced, caught between the thrill of possibility and the weight of uncertainty. How could he respond? What did it mean for his future? For Mark? For the triplets? As he opened his mouth to reply, the world around him faded. Everything felt suspended in time, and he knew this was just the beginning of a much larger journey. Could he really embrace this wild, beautiful life waiting for him? The air around the playground grew thick with anticipation, and Jake could feel all eyes on him, waiting for a response. The question hung like a balloon, suspended just out of reach, a reminder of the weighty role that Lucas had just tossed into the mix. For a moment he was lost, drowning in a sea of what-ifs as faces of the triplets swam in front of him like vivid memories waiting to be made. Well, Jake stammered, desperately searching for words that fit, running his fingers through his hair, a nervous habit he hadn't had since high school. Meanwhile, Mark approached, his face a mixture of pride and hesitation. He sensed how loaded that simple question had been. Mark knelt beside Lucas, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Lucas," he said gently, "that's a big question." He took a breath, guiding the kids' attention back to him, finding a way to bring comfort. "Let's give Mr. Jake a moment." The kids nodded, but their excitement didn't wane. Jake took a deep breath, trying to calm his own racing heart. He wanted to say something, anything, to capture the spark of connection that had ignited with Mark and the children just seconds before. "Honestly," Jake finally said, his voice steadying as he looked down at the three eager faces, "I don't really know what being a dad looks like yet, but I'd love to be part of your lives, if that's okay with you." Ava beamed up at him, her eyes wide and glimmering with hope. "You can come to all our plays and games," Lucas jumped in enthusiastically, "and help us with our homework." Jake chuckled, warmth radiating through him. "I'd be honored." Lily, always the little diplomat, chimed in, "And you have to try my brownies too." The laughter returned, breaking the tension as the kids sprawled back into their playful chaos, swinging and climbing, eager to include Jake in their joyful whirlwind. It felt like an invitation, one of comfort and hope. Mark stood beside him, a soft grin on his face, and in that moment Jake caught a glimpse of something deeper. Mark's relief was palpable, but there was also an undercurrent of appreciation in his gaze. They were both navigating a path that felt awfully new, but now it seemed a little less daunting. "Thanks for answering that," Mark said quietly, leaning against the playground structure. "They've really taken a liking to you." Jake swallowed down the fluttering of butterflies in his stomach, his heart warming at the thought of being welcomed, not just by Mark, but by the triplets as well. "It's easy to like them back." Mark's eyes lingered on Jake, something unspoken passing between them, a hint of possibility that made Jake's breath catch slightly. Their connection was morphing into something more significant. "I guess we'll see how tomorrow goes," Mark said, glancing toward the back of the playground where some parents lounged, watching their children play. "But if the dinner goes well, I don't know. Maybe there's more we could explore from there. Together." The words hung in the air, charged with promise or fear, whichever they chose to embrace. Jake's heart raced at the thought, but he quickly tucked the feeling away, telling himself to focus on the now. "Yeah, let's just take it one step at a time," he replied, feeling buoyed by the larger-than-life possibilities, yet anchored by the warmth of this new family. Just then, laughter erupted from the kids again, as Ava tried to hang upside down on the monkey bars, drawing cheers from her siblings. Jake laughed alongside them, letting the joy wash over him again. But as the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Jake knew tomorrow would be a turning point, a moment where he'd either step back or leap forward. Was he truly ready to take that leap into a life he never thought he'd want? As the question loomed over him, the thrill of the unknown beckoned. Would he find his place in this unexpected family? As the last rays of sunlight faded, casting a golden glow over the playground, Jake felt a swell of emotion stir within him. The laughter of the triplets echoed in his ears, a sweet soundtrack that felt increasingly familiar. But as he walked home, a whirlwind of thoughts crashed over him, threatening to drown out the joy he had just experienced. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his phone. The screen blinked to life with 3 separate messages from his best friend, Mike. Each text radiated excitement, nudging Jake toward his dinner with Mark and the kids. He hesitated, his mind racing through the implications of what tomorrow might bring. "Dude, you've got to get ready. This is going to be epic," the first message read, followed by a picture of Mike's face, beaming with enthusiasm. "I'm telling you, you'll be the best dad ever. Just be yourself," flashed across the screen seconds later. The last one sent a thrill of determination into Jake's heart. "You're finally taking a chance, man. Don't hold back." He set his phone down and took a deep breath. "Be yourself," he whispered. That was the key, he realized. The next day dawned with a crispness in the air that felt unusually charged. As he prepared, he picked out a simple navy shirt, a kind of understated confidence settling over him. He didn't want to be flashy. He wanted to be authentic. When he finally arrived at Mark's house, a wave of nerves fluttered in his stomach. The exterior was warm and welcoming, with sunflowers swaying softly beside the porch steps. He took a moment to collect himself, letting the excited chatter of children filter through the open window. With a firmer resolve, he rang the doorbell. Almost immediately, the door swung open, revealing Mark's smile, radiant and inviting. "You made it!" "Of course. Wouldn't miss it for the world," Jake replied, throwing in a grin of his own. As they walked into the living room, Jake was greeted by a cacophony of giggles and chatter. The triplets dashed toward him, each eager for his attention. Ava grabbed his hand, dragging him over to a stack of board games laid out on the carpet. "We're playing first," she declared, excitement thrumming in her voice. "I'm in," Jake laughed, settling onto the floor beside her. The game was chaotic, full of shouting, laughter, and playful banter. Every roll of the dice brought squeals of joy, and for the first time in ages, Jake felt a deep sense of belonging pierce through his earlier trepidations. As their game came to an end, Mark returned with pizza, delighting the kids. "Dinner's ready," he announced, and the room erupted into cheers. They gathered around the table, sharing stories and laughter, but Jake couldn't shake the feeling of significance that clung to the moment. Here he was, seated among this vibrant family, each smile expanding his heart a little more. Mark caught his eye across the table, nodding as if to say, "See, you belong here too." Jake's heart raced, and the realization sank in. Could this really be it? Could he open himself to this new reality? Just as they finished dinner, Ava let out a gasp. "Can we tell Mr. Jake our secret?" she asked, looking conspiratorially at her siblings. A hush fell over the table, curiosity buzzing in the air. Jake leaned closer, intrigued. "What's the secret?" The triplets exchanged glances, their eyes sparkling with mischief and excitement. "We have a surprise for you," Lucas piped up, practically bouncing in his seat. "What kind of surprise?" he asked, only half ready for the answer. "Something that will totally change everything," Lily exclaimed. Jake's breath caught in his throat, his heart pounding fiercely. All those questions, that lingering uncertainty, were about to collide with something unexpected. What could they have in store for him? Before he could press for more details, Mark just chuckled, but there was a hint of seriousness in his expression. "Are you ready for this?" And at that moment, Jake realized he had taken the first step into a world he had never imagined, and now he was on the edge of something that might just transform his life forever. What awaited him on the other side of that secret? Ava leaned forward, her eyes wide with anticipation. The triplets huddled together, their whispers filling the room as they plotted how to reveal their surprise. Jake felt a twinge of excitement mixed with curiosity, his heart racing faster than ever. "What is it? You can tell me," he urged playfully, squirming on his chair. "It's really cool," Lucas chimed in, a grin breaking across his little face. "But we gotta show you. Come on." With that, the trio jumped up from the table and grabbed Jake by the hands, pulling him out of his seat. Mark chuckled as he watched, amusement dancing in his eyes. They know how to draw out the suspense. The kids led Jake down a narrow hallway and into a small, brightly decorated room, what Jake assumed was their playroom. Walls were painted a cheerful yellow, covered with drawings and pictures tacked haphazardly, showcasing their creativity and wild imaginations. The air was thick with the smell of markers and freshly opened toys. "Okay, sit here," Lily directed, pushing him gently toward a beanbag chair in the corner. "I'm ready," Jake said, settling in, his excitement bubbling over. The triplets exchanged glances once more, clearly reveling in their secret. Ava pointed dramatically at the wall opposite Jake. "We painted a mural, just for you." Jake's eyebrows shot up. "A mural? Just for me?" The kids nodded enthusiastically, with wide smiles plastered across their faces. Stepping aside, they unveiled a large canvas draped in colorful splashes and strokes. The mural depicted scenes filled with abstract shapes and playful characters, all surrounded by bright suns and trees. But there in the middle, a big heart caught his attention. Within it, they had looped their names surrounded by doodles that represented each of their interests. It was simple, yet it struck him deeply. "Wow, this is amazing," Jake exclaimed, touched by their effort. "I love it." Mark leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, his face radiating pride. "They wanted to do something special to welcome you into our little family world." Jake felt the warmth of the moment wash over him. The realization hit him. This was more than just kids playing. It was a concrete symbol of acceptance. They had opened up their hearts to him, and in turn, it cracked open something inside him too. "I can't believe you all painted this," he said, reaching out to trace the outlines of their names, their unique personalities reflected in their artwork. "I think it might just be my favorite painting ever." "And there's more," Lucas added, bouncing on his heels. "We also made a book for you." Jake looked up, eyes shining with curiosity. "A book? What kind of book?" "Come see, it's in the other room," Ava shouted, already racing out towards the door. Mark chuckled again, and Jake followed the kids to the other room, more excited than ever. Each moment spent with the triplets felt like a new layer of connection revealing itself, as if each shared experience were a piece of a puzzle that was finally coming together. Once inside, they showed him a scrapbook filled with pictures and snippets of their adventures. There were snapshots from their family outings, hand-drawn comics, and notes penned by the triplets about their favorite moments. "This is so cool," Jake marveled, flipping through the pages, his heart swelling. He couldn't help but see how much love and effort they had put into every page. "What if we all add more memories together?" Jake suggested, glancing at Mark. Mark's smile widened, and without even needing words, Jake felt the unspoken agreement hanging between them. This was a new chapter just beginning. Just then, Ava's eyes sparkled again. "Can we do a sleepover, like every week?" Jake laughed, imagining a whole series of beautiful, chaotic nights filled with laughter and late-night snacks. "Absolutely." But as Jake turned to look at Mark, something unexpected surged through him, an excitement that mingled with trepidation. What if this was just the beginning of something deeper? In this moment, he felt the walls of his heart crack just a little more. The idea of exploring this bond, this connection, excited him. Little did he know, the secret surprised the triplets even more than he would expect, and the next hours would lead to choices none of them could have predicted. With the laughter of the triplets still echoing in the air, Jake wondered what the future might hold for them all, as he opened the door to a world filled with potential. But as the evening drew on and they settled in for their first movie night together, those thoughts lingered. How would he navigate these growing feelings? And could he really be the dad they appeared to believe he could be? With each passing moment, he felt the weight of that promise pressing deep within him, a silent question hanging above them all. Would he step up and embrace this new life? As the movie flickered on the screen, Jake sank into the beanbag chair, his heart racing in tune with the laughter that erupted around him. The cheerful voices of Ava, Lucas, and Lily washed over him like a warm blanket. They were wrapped up in their world of animated films and popcorn, and he couldn't help but feel a part of it, feeding off their infectious energy. But Jake's thoughts drifted, as he occasionally caught glimpses of Mark unobtrusively watching them. Often their eyes would meet in quiet understanding, and Jake was overwhelmed with a mixture of gratitude and uncertainty. This was new territory for him. He was always the one who kept his distance, who treaded lightly around emotional connections. Yet here, surrounded by enthusiasm and love, he felt the thrill of possibility. "What's the next movie, Dad?" Lily chimed, her innocent question crystal clear amidst the playful chaos. Jake felt a jolt run through him at the word Dad. It rang like a bell, clear and sweet. He'd never thought of himself in that role, not until now. How could he live up to the title? Could he be what these kids deserved? I think, Mark responded, but he paused as though weighing his words carefully. Jake noticed the approving nods from the kids. This wasn't about the movie at all. It was about the idea of family. And for Jake, it felt both like a dream and a daunting responsibility. "Whatever you pick will be great," Jake chimed in, hoping to mask his inner turmoil with enthusiasm. He wanted to belong, not just for himself, but for them too. As the credits rolled on the first movie, Ava suggested starting a new game. "Okay, how about we play I Spy?" Her eyes sparkled with competitiveness, and soon the room filled with spirited guesses and laughter. Jake loved the way the triplets interacted with each other, teasing and cheering one another on. He found himself playing along, tucking away his fears as he focused on their joy. Moments like these felt easy. It was the bond blossoming among them that mattered. Yet as the game continued, he caught the weight of Mark's gaze. Something deeper loomed in the silence that hung between them. Jake could feel it tightening like a bowstring. Mark was still the single dad navigating his own challenges, and Jake was stepping into territory that was as unfamiliar to him as it was thrilling. When the game reached its fever pitch, a playful accusation from Lucas sent them all into fits of laughter. In that moment, Jake couldn't suppress a blossoming smile. This was genuine happiness. It felt right. His heart seemed to whisper that maybe he was ready to take the leap. However, just as things reached their peak, a sudden ping broke the moment. Mark's phone lit up with a new message. He glanced at it, and Jake noted the shift in Mark's expression. It was brief, but the flicker of worry didn't escape him. "Everything okay?" Jake asked, trying to keep the concern out of his voice as he caught the triplets' attention from their game. Mark hesitated, and for a moment Jake saw the weight of his responsibilities cross his face. "Yeah, just work stuff," he replied, but the flicker of tension remained. The laughter faded slightly as the kids sensed the shift in energy. Ava broke the stillness, her voice small. "Can we go back to the game?" Jake quickly smiled to revive the moment. "Absolutely. You know what? I spy with my little eye. Something green." As the game resumed, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that something far more pressing loomed on the horizon, drawing him in. He caught Mark's eye once more, and his heart raced. What was this life about to unfold for them? As they wrapped up their night, laughter ringing through the house, Jake felt a growing resolve. He wanted to step into this life, to help Mark carry the weight of their little family. Yet that nagging worry settled like a stone in his pocket. What challenges lay ahead? Would he be enough? And if he decided to take that leap, how would they all evolve together? With thoughts swirling in his head, Jake felt the deepening connection tighten its grip on his heart. As he curled up on the couch alongside the triplets, he knew that tomorrow would come with its own set of surprises, ones that could change their lives forever. The next morning dawned bright and crisp, spilling soft light through the curtains of Mark's cozy home. Jake stirred awake, excitement bubbling within him. Today was not just any day, This was the day he'd start to embrace the role of more than just a friend to the triplets and Mark. With a surge of determination, he dressed in a simple outfit that felt comfortable yet confident. He envisioned the evening ahead, filled with the aroma of Mark's cooking, the laughter of children, and the warm glow of connection. He was ready for this new chapter. As Jake entered the kitchen, the cheerful chaos of the triplets filled the air. Mark moved expertly between the counters, preparing pancakes, while the kids chattered excitedly about their plans for the day. "Mr. Jake, can you help us with our science project afterward?" Lucas called, his eyes gleaming with enthusiasm. "Absolutely. Can't wait to see what you've got planned," Jake replied, his heart swelling at their eager faces. In that moment, he felt seen and valued. After breakfast, they set to work on the project, a volcano made of baking soda and vinegar. As they laughed and discussed colors and eruptions, a lightness enveloped the room. Jake felt liberated from the corporate world, stepping into one filled with innocence, imagination, and genuine love. "Okay, on 3, Ava shouted, counting down with all the drama of a seasoned announcer. 1, 2, 3. The volcano erupted, fizzing and bubbling over with the concoction they'd made. The children squealed in delight, and Jake found himself laughing right along with them, free from the shadows of his former life. Later that day, the moment of truth arrived. Mark had mentioned they'd start setting up for dinner, a casual gathering but one that carried a weight of expectation for both of them. Jake's heart quickened. Could he truly bring his whole self into this space? Setting the table, he looked around and saw the decorations the kids had made. Little drawings of their family and colorful crafts surrounded them, and a sense of belonging washed over him. Mark entered the room with a smirk. "Nervous?" "Not a chance," Jake said, trying to feign nonchalance, though he felt the flutters of excitement mixing with nerves. Mark smiled, and that small gesture filled Jake with warmth. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the air grew charged with the smells of pasta cooking and laughter ringing out from the living room. The doorbell rang and Jake's heart raced. Guests began to arrive, neighbors, friends, a couple of members from Mark's support group. It felt like an instant family gathering, and for Jake, it was a snapshot of what could be. Introducing himself to the group, Jake found comfort in the shared stories and laughter. When he noticed Mark standing a little to the side, looking slightly anxious, Jake felt the urge to reinforce that they were in this together. Standing in front of everyone, he turned to Mark. "You all know when I first walked into this family, I had no idea what I was stepping into, and now I see how special this is." He took a deep breath. "Mark, you're doing an incredible job with the kids. I admire you more than you know. I want to help create this journey with all of you." Silence fell for a moment, before several neighbors chimed in. "We can certainly use more caring souls around here." Jake felt their warmth, recognition grounding him. Mark's eyes shone with unshed tears as he stepped closer. "Thank you, Jake," he said softly. "That means the world to me." With a reassurance that sparkled in his heart, Jake knew he was fully embracing this new life. The truth was spilling out, not just for himself, but for Mark and the kids as well. As dinner drew to a close, Ava stood up, her hand raised high. "Time for a dance party!" she exclaimed, racing to the speakers. Jake and Mark exchanged glances, and they both burst into laughter. Compelled to join the fun, Jake swept Ava into his arms as she giggled uncontrollably. Soon, everyone caught the rhythm, laughter merging in joyous chaos. With the familiar faces dancing beside him, something shifted inside Jake. Unsure of where this journey would lead, he felt an assuring presence. He was not alone, and he truly wanted to be here. As the music played on, mirroring the heartbeats of their blossoming family, Jake knew he was exactly where he was meant to be. He felt alive, charged with love for Mark and the triplets. In that moment, as he twirled Ava under the shimmering lights, he realized it was not just about stepping into a title, but deeply embracing the potential of becoming part of this family. Mother's nature had graced them with second chances, and they were together, tethered by laughter and love. And just when everything seemed perfect, they gathered together, exhausted and happy. Lucas leaned in close, whispering conspiratorially, "So, Mr. Jake, are we going to have more adventures?" Jake smiled brightly, warmth flooding through him. Every single one, I promise." As he exchanged understanding glances with Mark, both men knew they had crossed a threshold neither could have walked alone. Together, they would navigate the winding path ahead, united in the love they were creating, a beautiful family carved from laughter, hope, and the most unexpected of journeys. Now it's your turn to take action. You need to subscribe now so you won't miss any exclusive stories like this one. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. We rely on you. Did this ending inspire you? Comment below with your thoughts and feelings. Don't wait. Not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation. Real fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.